This is the Haunted Files Unplugged, where the lights are low, the stories are raw, and the truth is stranger than fiction. Join Mike Delcoro, Eric Vanderlaan, and their special guests as they dive into the dark corners of the paranormal. From hauntings and cryptids to UFO encounters and everything in between. No filters, no scripts, just pure, unfiltered conversation from the world beyond. You're listening to the Haunted Files Unplugged.
Holy motherfucker!
What is up, guys?
Happy Monday, everybody. New look, new name, new show. Is that right, Mike?
That's right. Yep.
So I want to welcome everyone to the Haunted Files Unplugged radio show. And I'm your host, Eric Vanderlaan. And I got my other host right over there.
That's me. My name is Mike Delcoro. And we got an awesome show for you guys tonight as an opening show and a new rebranding. So I'm going to let Eric tell you guys what we're getting into.
That's right. So, yep, we're tying everything to our show, The Haunted Files, that streams on ParaFlixx. And we're going to try to bring you the best guests possible. And we're starting it off with a bang. Is that right,
That's
Mike?
right. Heck yeah, we are.
And it's sort of like affiliated to like where your right shoulder is.
Yeah, right there.
There you go. So that's right. We got Father Bob Bailey. We met him at the Rock Island Roadhouse Esoteric Expo. I said it right, didn't I?
You did.
That's all
And
I can say.
Father Bob is is known throughout the paranormal community, and he deals with the angelic and the demonic. And he's a super knowledgeable guy. He's a super nice guy, and he has a lot of experience with a lot of different things in the paranormal. And I can't wait to pick his brain.
That's right. And you know what? I even made an intro.
Oh yeah, let's check it out.
Oh, you want to see it?
Sure do. Very cool.
All right. Without further ado,
real quick, I just want to let everybody know, and our listeners out there, that also Father Bob is the official liaison for the paranormal for NESPR. So, which and he's been traveling with the Devils on the Run tour with Annabelle and all the Warren's occult museum items that they've collected over the years. So he's there to help keep people safe, and we're gonna get more into that soon. So let's do it.
And by the way, real quick, it worked because we're still safe, right?
We are, absolutely.
That's happened. Like, actually, good things have been happening to me.
Awesome.
So,
I love it.
Without further ado, bam.
Hey there, how are you?
Good evening, Father.
Thank you. It's great to see you guys again. It's great to be here.
Yeah,
awesome. We're happy to have you.
Thank you for coming for our relaunch, our special relaunch for the Haunted Files Unplugged radio show.
Cool.
And by the way, whatever you did in Rock Island, it worked because I'm feeling great. I didn't feel any ill will from Annabelle. I was very respectful, and that's it.
So
Cool.
hey, let's do this, Father. Let's. I know you've probably got this question so many times, but we have a lot of listeners that might be unfamiliar, and we want to hear, how did you get started in this in the paranormal field? Because I know for some people that are religious and and have are people of faith, when you start mentioning the paranormal, they kind of clam up and they don't want to talk about it, or they veer away from the subject. And you are kind of like the opposite, right? You kind of dove in and want to see what's going on. So tell us a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Sure. Well, I've always had an interest in the supernatural from a very young age. My mother's cousin was a priest, and so we would talk many times about miracles, about the devil, about the demonic, different things about the faith. And that's what really cultivated, I think, a desire for me to be a priest. But all through it, I always had a sense, which probably doesn't go with every priest, I'm sure, but that I wanted especially to be a priest in order to combat evil. That my ministry somehow, I couldn't articulate it back then, but would somehow do that. So I was always interested in miracles, apparitions, the saints, the appearances of the Virgin Mary and all of that. And so it wasn't a great leap of faith to when I was also had an interest in the paranormal. And yeah, when people say paranormal, they do panic and say, "What are you doing as a priest?" But my involvement in the paranormal is specialized, and it's on angelic and demonic, and helping with spiritual warfare. So that's my part in that. Originally, when I had talked to the bishop at the time, I told them that I thought it was important that the church have a voice within the paranormal community to bring the age old wisdom that we have on good versus evil. I said, people want it, they welcome it. And so
Of
the
course.
bishop gave me permission at the time. And, with a few caveats, he said, don't do an exorcism. I said, don't worry, I don't want to do an exorcism. So although we all priests have that desire, I mean, not desire, that charism, we only operate that at the discretion of the bishop because it's dangerous. It's
Mhm.
Right.
dangerous.
Yes. So you do
But we,
more you do more deliverance, right?
yes, with people who may be oppressed or obsessed or being attacked from the outside, or even, being affected by the inside, but just not full demonic possession. And I do what they call exorcism over home, which any priest can do. You don't need permission to do exorcism over place.
I saw it on
So,
Discovery Plus.
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I did a lot of that at Paranormal State, and that was another thing that my parishioners, my young parishioners, said, Father Bob, I know you watch, a certain show, Ghost Hunters, which I was watching. They said, well, if you like that, you're gonna love Paranormal State. And I said, huh? So I went on to it, and I was hooked from the very first one. And I liked Ryan. I liked his approach. So I wrote to him, and immediately he got back to me, and we formed a friendship. And that friendship led to my helping him out, and then it led to a few seasons on Paranormal State. And because of that, that's what built up my reputation in the community. And then I got a lot of uh, inquiries for help. So I began what was called then PWSM, which is the Praetorian Warriors of Saint Michael. Now I founded a another organization called the Holy Sword Apostolate. The Holy Sword is in Saint Michael's sword, and I'm co-director along with Father Torres, Father Ken Torres, who's on the West Coast.
I know
Uh,
Ken. He's a great guy.
yeah, so together we've joined forces in what we call the Holy Sword Apostolate. Now with uh, the occult museum and all of that, because of uh, Paranormal State, I got to meet Lorraine Warren, and it was instant bonding between her and I. And I've worked on cases on Paranormal State with her, and I just had that friendship. And a few times I went over the house to visit her, and during some of those times, I was asked to bless the museum. And then after she died, I continued being friends with like Dan Rivera and the other members of NESPR. And when the tour came, Dan said, "You want to come?" And I said, "Well, I'm retired, so I got nothing keeping me here." And so I did. And that just bonded us closer. So what I really technically am is spiritual consultant. I'm the priest for NESPR, and not necessarily for all the articles itself that's in the museum, but I do bless the museum. My first duty or my first desire is to protect the guys,
Yeah.
um, and what they do, and anybody else who would come, to anything that we do.
Well, we hope we never have to reach out to you.
Uh, That would be good. Yeah, I just heard from somebody who was in Kentucky. And in Kentucky, I had the brainstorm. Sometimes I do, once in a blue moon, and and I had these little plastic coins with a cross on it. So I blessed them and touched them to the relic I have of a splinter of the cross of Christ.
Oh wow.
And one of the guys said that they used it at a case, and there was a demonic presence. When he held that, the presence was gone. The minute that he took it out and put it somewhere else, it didn't go. He could feel it going back, coming back in, those forces. So he said it really works, and I said, no, I believe it. So
Wow.
Oh, wow. And now the first thing everyone is probably listening here in the show, they probably want to know, have you ever performed an exorcism
I have not.
or witnessed one?
Or what about being a part of one?
Yes, I was for one, and it was at a place where I was part of a charismatic prayer group, and I actually knew the young man, and it took 2 tries. And I was a layperson. I was not a seminarian even at the time. My only thing to do was to say the Hail Mary, continually say the Hail Mary during it. And I remember him saying, the guy who was leading it, the priest rather, and there was also a layman, said, "Don't look at him, whatever you do." Well, when somebody threw holy water, the guy, he turned around, and I'm not saying it was the whole head around, but it was around. His face was contorted. His eyes were like, and I went, "Ugh." But I just kept saying the Hail Mary, and all I could remember is, thank God I still lived at home, because my parents were home when I went home at the end of the night.
Oh
But
yeah.
it was scary. And I also went to a house. This is another thing. With my partner at the time, Rob, and his wife, Terry, who were she was booking. She did the bookings and held that. I forget what you call it now. Brain fart. But anyways, uh, as we were driving to this place in Massachusetts, she always had iced tea. She goes, "This iced tea smells like urine." We're going, what are you talking about? So the husband grabs it from her, smells it, and he goes, "Oh, it does." I said, "What?" I'm in the back seat. I grab it, smell it. I said, "Yeah, it's urine." So I said, "What the hell are we in for?" We get into the house, and there is the young woman in the bed in a puddle of urine. So I went, oh my God. So at that point, I was just doing deliverance prayers,
Right.
but it started to intensify and intensify, and nothing was working. And it was exhausting. After a couple of hours, I just said, "Oh, wait a minute. This is, I'm starting to see some signs of demonic possession." So I said, "I need to stop right now." So I did. I got home. I called the bishop of the area, who I knew, and so he thanked me and he said, "Yes, we have an exorcist." And so they handled it. I don't know whatever happened, because usually when they take them, they don't talk about them after that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
Right.
but
And
it's formidable. People who say, "Oh yeah, yeah, I went to this person was possessed," and when you see a real possessed person, they don't just jump in and out.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
we got Bill here, one of our friends, Bill Slevin, and that's
Oh,
what
I
he
don't know
told me.
him. I have no idea who the man is. He's part of the apostolate.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
great.
he's a good friend of ours. He lives locally
Yeah,
to us
yeah, he
as
he
well.
lives down the street from me pretty much,
Oh
and
yeah.
we've investigated many times down here in South Florida. Now we got to get you down here, right?
That's right.
Hey.
Especially
So,
during the winter time.
and Father, like you were saying about miracles and different things, you know, I just experienced something in my family, and I was talking to Eric about that. I'm going to call as a miracle, and uh, my brother, he's exactly 10 years older than me. So he's 52. He had a heart attack and was having a heart attack, and he drove himself to the hospital. He got in the hospital, and as soon as they took him, into the back, he passed out, and his heart was stopped for 50 minutes. They kept trying to revive him, and he eventually was brought back to life, and he was in a coma for 24 hours, and it was after he came out of the coma, he was just slowly, kind of like grabbing a hand and just kind of squeezing the hand to kind of let people know that he was responding. And then after they pulled the tube out of his mouth, he was talking and he was completely fine. The next day, he was up and walking and released from the hospital. Um, Everybody said that he should have been either brain dead or not survived. And the scariest thing that he told me was, and every medical person said that there's no way, they just don't believe it. But he said he remembers as soon as he was shocked, he goes, okay, they just brought me back to life. But he couldn't see because his eyes were shut. He couldn't move, and he just could hear everything from that point on. The whole time he heard the people talking, he heard the nurses, he heard the doctors. Um, he was fully aware, and he said at first when they were taking his blood, he was trying to move a little bit to show them that he was like okay, and they're like, "Oh, he's seizing." Like get the medicine. He's like trying to shake his head, like no, 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 like and but yeah, it was really strange, and he said he didn't remember when he was technically deceased, like it was like he remembers passing out and then being brought back to life. But I told him, I said, not every near death experience do you remember, you know. Sometimes like some dreams you remember, some dreams you don't, you know what I mean? Like so,
Yep.
but yeah, it was pretty amazing. And have you ever dealt with any NDEs or near death experiences or anything from
Well, yes, I did with one person who was then came back. And usually, it seems that when people do that, many of them, when they're revived, begin to have gifts.
I've heard of
Um,
that.
yeah, become sensitive to the spirit world, or can or empathic. Which again, I need to say, oh, Father Bob, you're going into no. I believe that there are gifts of the Holy Spirit, gifts of discernment. Like Lorraine had that of discernment of spirits. They called it medium. Well, that's what the common in the world, but her gifts clearly were gifts of the spirit, and some people are empaths. I know someone that I work with, and she's an empath, which I think is the most difficult gift, because you go and you absorb all the negativity, if there
yeah.
is negativity, and it's tough to deal with. So, yeah, but that's what I've heard, that many people, it revives some kind of spiritual gifts. It's what you do with it, whether it's right or wrong, or whether it's from God or not. If
And
you're
do
gonna
you
make it,
have a gift?
what's that?
And do you have a type of gift like that?
I never have before, even when I was doing the PWSM. However, I will say this: there are times when I go into a house, I can feel the heaviness. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes I may even get a word of knowledge, which is again a gift to the Pentecostal gift to the Spirit.
Mhm.
But it's not something I control, so I can't say, okay, it just doesn't. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. You know.
Right, right.
Um, but I'm praying to God that He gives me that gift more and more, that I might be sensitive to it, for when I do the work, that I can sense, if there is an evil presence around. You know,
And
Do you,
you've been in ministry for about 30 years?
yeah, a little over 30 years. Yes.
And what got you into ministry?
My mother's cousin, who was a priest, I think, is the biggest. Like I was brought up, in a practicing Catholic family. My grandparents next door, they were Italian immigrants, so they had, the faith. Every you go in, you see statues and pictures, and the faith was a big part of our lives. We had celebration of saints, feast days. We would have outdoor cookouts, and
Mhm.
and things like that. So it was just engendered in me. I used to play priest. I used to play mass when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
And I used to use my mother's Latin missal, and my cousin would joke to my mother, "He knows more Latin better than some priests do." But yeah, that was that. But I think I mean, there's a calling, that you
Right.
respond to, but I believe part of the calling was that good versus evil part. When I was young, I saw The Omen. When I saw The Omen,
Yeah.
I saw myself in it,
Oh,
in
really?
a different way. I mean, not
Okay.
say, but like a calling.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
Like
said
you're
to my
there to
like
help.
yeah,
this is what you're here for. Yeah.
yeah, because I turned to my friends. We were teenagers. We were in junior high school, and I said,
That
hmm,
movie traumatized me.
"Yeah, no, Jaws traumatized me. That movie did."
Yeah, me too. I wouldn't even go in the pool after I saw Jaws when I was a kid.
I still can't go in the ocean with it. That's how
Well, you're gonna come
traumatized.
down here and we're gonna make you face your fears, Father Bob.
Oh yeah,
Kidding
my
not.
luck, I'll get a gator.
We got shark cages, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, why don't you, if I'm not there, start without me. But anyway,
Don't
so
just be there
that's how.
throwing the chum.
Oh yeah. But you come with a very good point about a miracle, and what happened in your life. I tried an experiment in these last couple of places that we went. And I asked them, would you mind if I put a little table with my relics? Because I bring the relics, holy relics, with me for protection in my room, especially dealing with that thing they call Annabelle.
Yeah.
And so you mind if I display them? And I said, sure. So I went from displaying them to giving a teaching. And the last two, especially Kentucky, as I told you, 5,300 people came through that makeshift museum. I said, okay, people are going to look these as Catholic relics and saint things. They're not going to even be interested. They're going to want to just go for the horror stuff. The,
Mhm.
the opposite was true. People
Yeah.
came to the table. They felt good that the relics were there. They listened intently to my explanation of the miraculous, with those relics, and they thanked me. And in some instances, they felt security, um, with it being there, because right next to me was Annabelle, and the other, down there. So people would come up, but they said they could feel the peace and the strength and the calm from that table. So I said, you know what, and even
I could have felt that from I felt that from you when I met you over there.
well, it probably came from that,
I
and
yeah.
Chris was saying, they were really listening to you. I said, I know, like they were interested and they were taking pictures. So I said, you know what, this needs to be told, because what I told people, I said, this table represents positive paranormal phenomena. Miracles are paranormal. They're above the
Yes,
normal.
they're out of the
Right.
normal. Yes.
But we don't think of that because we have a preconceived, we've lumped paranormal to the negative and to the, and into ghosts and spirits, and that's it. But it isn't. It's so much more. I said, we need to know that miracles are still here. And the ones I had were pretty powerful. And I got to tell you, I had oil from a weeping icon.
Mm.
And I know the icon, I saw it. I saw it weeping the oil, and there was no oil used in the creating of the icon. um, I have a picture of the oil, the icon with the oil oozing. That uh, that picture began to ooze oil.
Oh wow.
The picture of the picture. It did,
That's
and
crazy.
for a very short time, but it did enough for three of us to be able to feel it, and it smelt like incense.
Hmm.
The oil. So, and I had the
So,
relic of the true cross, which is a splinter of the cross I got in an old church. And when I brought it to a house there was a demonic entity. I brought it into the room. It's just a little relic about this big, stand. And I went to hold it up to do the blessing. And as soon as I did that, the REM pod across the room went nuts and just
oh wow.
died. And the tech guy said, "This were brand new batteries." That can happen. It drains. But to me, it said, well, you know what? It drained because that thing was upset that the relic was there. And so I said, that's not staying in a safe anymore. So that's part of my war chest now that I bring with me. But and people are fascinated. That it's the relic that
It's
made the
very
REM
interesting.
pod die.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a similar experience like that. We were doing an event, and I used to work with this psychic medium. She was a Reiki master, and we were getting a sense that there was something there. I'm not saying it was demonic, but something wasn't good, and it was touching little girls, and she felt something was not right. So she started saying the prayer
Saint
Arch-
Michael.
of Saint Michael, and started doing the holy water. And when she did that, like, I don't know if you know what the data logger is, the EDI, where it's
Mm-mm.
like it'll light up different colors, sensing vibration, EMF, pressure
Kind
change,
of like a REM
humidity,
pod, sort of.
temperature. Yeah, that thing was going off like crazy. And we actually did have a REM pod. Actually, the Mel meter was going
Hmm.
nuts. And after she finished it, it stopped. So that was pretty wild.
Wow. I had an
You-
experience at Lizzie Borden's house last week. I think it was last week. I got invited with friends. So I went with two friends and we went in the basement from we have midnight to 8 in AM. And when I went down there, we were doing the Estes method. And of course, I had to there was a presence of a demonic spirit there, not just human
Oh wow.
spirits. So, we did get some spirits that said help, so I prayed for them to go to be with God. I sensed that
Mhm.
this evil presence was holding it back. It's either
Hmm.
that or it was following me. I don't know, but everyone that tried the Estes method, they kept getting Bob, Bob, Bob. Which
Oh
happened. It's
wow.
it's happened most places I go when there's the Estes method, and
Were you
so
under with the headphones and
I
the?
didn't go on it at all because
Oh, okay.
my hearing was a little. I had wax in the ear. I said I'm not gonna be able to hear that. It was
What?
everybody else. Yeah, exactly. Well, one girl that was there that joined us, there was two there, was a skeptic. Okay, so she was on there, and I don't know what she heard, but she also heard her nickname called out,
Oh
and she's
wow.
go she threw off the headphones. I said, "Are you a skeptic now?" No. So that was it was amazing. So I felt I did battle with something that was evil, and I prayed that any souls that were still bound, and and again, that's another thing that sometimes Catholics don't understand, like, why is he doing it with spirits? It's forbidden to a spirit. No, I believe that they're purgatorial spirits and that we can pray them into God's light. And purgatory makes absolute sense to me, particularly dealing with the paranormal, because
Well,
sometimes they're doing time for a while until something gets resolved and they can go and be at peace.
Because they're just stuck in between.
Yes.
and you know, that's funny that you said that earlier, that you felt like there was something negative holding back. We have come to that conclusion ourselves multiple times, doing different methods and different things. And one of them that kind of pops right into my head was from one of our episodes, Eric, was when we were at the plane crash, the
Value Jet.
value
Remember the
jet
Value Jet in the 90s that crashed in Florida?
Okay.
in the
We
Everglades.
investigated the location of the site. It was like the memorial. I don't know why. I just had something pulling me to go out there.
Hmm.
Never thought of it, and we were getting. Mike will tell you.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was some really, really amazing evidence. And then at one point we were doing the Delco session. I don't know if you've seen that with the goggles that I made. It's basically like the
No.
Estes method with the goggles. So I kind of came up with an idea, like basically what happens if we mix the Gansfeld experiment. Are you familiar with the Gansfeld
I
experiment?
am. Yes.
So if you mix the Gansfeld experiment with the Estes method, and I came up with these goggles, and Dave Giuliano
Oh yeah.
has been selling them at the Ghost Hunter store. He's actually one of our sponsors for this show,
Dave's a great
and
guy.
he is
Yeah,
he is fantastic. And we've been getting really, really wild results. And when we were doing this method, we felt like there was something there that was holding these people or spirits or whatever it may be, but they were holding them back. And yeah, we kind of came to that same conclusion. These are the goggles here.
Oh wow. So how do they differ from just the
So
blind?
instead of taking a ping pong ball and like cutting it in half and putting it over your
Yeah.
eye, and these are electroluminescent panels that I've inserted into these goggles. So it has a battery pack, so they're easy to bring with you out in the field.
Oh.
And Bill loves them. And they basically are going to give you that visual sensory deprivation, the sensory overload, if you will. So just
Mhm.
using that, somebody smarter than me came up with that invented the Gansfeld experiment. But basically I took it and
He
made it
just made it
into
look cool.
and made it where you can carry them with you. You don't have to bring
Yeah.
ping pong balls and tape and a big spotlight and all this stuff. You could just boom bang them on, and when you do the spirit box with it, instead of using just traditional pink noise or brown noise, it really amplifies the session. From people that have done it, and they explain it like basically like doing the Estes method on steroids.
Wow.
So
Speaking of sponsors,
yeah, I was just going to say that real quick. We're at that time. We're at the 30-minute mark where we're going to have to just play a couple quick ads, and we'll be right back with you. What's up? Mike and Eric from the Haunted Files here, and we got these pieces of paranormal equipment in our hand. Why is that?
Because we want to give a big shout out to the Ghost Hunter store, our sponsor. And you might see some of this equipment on your favorite ghost hunting shows. Is that right, Mike?
That's right, especially the Haunted Files on ParaFlixx.
And we're going to give you a special code for a discount on these devices.
That's right. So if you go to the Ghost Hunter store, you go to the website, when you check out, if you enter the code Ghost Gone Wild,
Not Girls Gone Wild.
that's right, you get a discount on your purchase. So check them out. They're your one-stop shop for everything paranormal.
What's What's up, everybody? I'm Eric, and this is Mike from the Haunted Files. And Mike, we got something special to tell everyone, right?
We do. We have an amazing product here. This is from Haunted Happy Hour, where they make spirit-infused coffee. And what's cool about this product right here is it's the Haunted Files edition. It's a Dark Isles brew.
Yep, and it's got a blend of Irish cream, pistachio, and dark rum. A perfect blend to awaken your dark side, right, Mike?
Hell yeah, it is. And if you're feeling sluggish or you are ready to investigate all night, this is for you, man. And it is amazing tasting. And not only that, but what did ParaFlixx do for us and for the fans?
Well, you're going to get a special discount code that's on the package, and you're going to be able to get 3 months for free ParaFlixx. And who can they watch, Mike?
Well, they can watch us and all the other amazing investigators on the ParaFlixx platform. So get yours today and make sure you check out ParaFlixx and the Haunted Files.
And if you're feeling dead inside, get caffeinated with Haunted Happy Hour.
Are you ready to explore the unknown?
Eventually.
Brace yourself for a journey into the supernatural. ParaFlixx Paranormal Plus, your gateway to the paranormal, all-in-one streaming service. Dare to explore, dare to believe, dare to stream alone.
It does not want us here.
Sign up now and embark on a supernatural adventure like never before. ParaFlixx Paranormal Plus, the universal home of paranormal.
All right. And we're back.
That
Don't pay
coffee
the
sounds
bills.
amazing.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you saw Haunted Happy Hour there at Rock Island, but they gave me 6 of the bags of coffee to sell because I do events down here. And that was like what, just over a month ago, and I down to 1 bag. I drink the rest myself. Oh, I gave Mike got a bag. So
yeah. Well, even at Rock Island, they said they sold they had a whole gang of it, and they sold the whole lot. Erica picked that brew, so I guess he did.
I saw the
they-
table in the distance, but I never got to get there.
They're great folks.
I'm gonna have to send you some if you like coffee. You'll love
I
this.
do like coffee. I'm not big on the real dark stuff. The dark blend, but
Like
although
espresso.
I've had French press. Yesterday I had French pressed coffee, which was amazing.
This one's very flavorful, and you might like it.
I'm sure I will.
And I wasn't raised as a Catholic. I was raised Episcopalian, and a lot of people call us Episcopalians. So maybe like if you put like a little thing of Bailey's in it, might be a really nice drink for you.
Can't hurt.
Right? Exactly.
So Father, do you think that, because we do residential cases as well. We don't really talk about it a whole lot because we kind of keep that on the low. It's very, very confidential because we want our clients' trust. So we have these platforms that we get to talk about a lot of things and everything. So we don't, but we also do residential cases, and we found in doing these residential cases sometimes things will attach to dysfunction, and when there's anger or dysfunction in a home, do you feel that is the case?
I absolutely do. When I was doing residential cases, there's a few things. Yes, anything negative, the other side's going to harness. And even like I tell people, you may need to make some changes in your home, brighten up. If there's all dark paint and brighten it up. Play some positive kind of music. Nice.
You know who I learned that from? And you might be familiar with them. Are you familiar with Tim Yancey? He actually used to do lectures on the Amityville house.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm familiar with the name.
We were
Yes.
with the team called War Party Paranormal, and he used to work with our team, and Bill Slevin as well. He passed away a couple of years ago, but that's what I learned from him. He's like,
Hmm.
your house is dark, open up the blinds, let the light in,
Yep.
clean
And not
clean
only
up the
that,
place, hug your wife.
right? And not
Watch
only
watch
that,
something
but
funny, laugh, you know.
oh yeah, yeah. Positiveness banishes, negativity. But also, what I told them is, if their house is in disarray,
Hmm.
if their house is a mess, if their basement's a mess, that is interpreted by the dark side as chaos. And so it's going to be attracted
Interesting.
to chaos. So I tell them, you need to clean your basement. You need to clean your house. If you don't, you got to make some positive changes. Just like when you diagnose a disease with a person, they have to make some changes in their lives in order for things to get better and be maintained. So yeah.
You
Yeah, and
know,
there's something to be said too. Like, I don't know, when I organize something, or like, or go ahead and clean
oh my
house,
God, he's a neat freak. We're like
I
the opposites.
Oscar and Felix.
yeah.
Exactly.
But
Odd couple.
you get that sensation, like, wow, this is, you almost feel better too, when things are organized and clean. It makes your
Absolutely.
person, feel better, and things as well. Um Eric, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, but he's like over the top. Like, God forbid that there's like a tissue paper in the garbage can. He wants it completely empty. Like,
Well,
we
that's
like it
because
like that.
that's because I grew up as crew on yachts, and I was a boat captain for years. So everything
You
has
know,
to be labeled and precise and put where it goes. And I
my dad told me, he's like, he was in the Navy, and he's like, after I graduated high school, he was like, you should join the military and make a man out of you. But I didn't
I
believe
mellowed out a
him.
lot since, um, but yeah, for sure. So, and
Wow.
and, and Father, do you? So we have probably two places that we have investigated, and that we've actually investigated regularly, that we feel that there is something dark there. Um, and these two places are, one is the Eric. I don't know if you want to tell them about the Aerojet. We talk about Aerojet a lot because it's
Yeah,
just
we
such a.
talk about this place because it's just something that, like, it just sticks in my mind. So it's this abandoned rocket testing facility out in the middle of the Everglades, and it's gated, so you can't drive up there. The only way to get there is to walk or bike 3 miles each way. So this was in service like during the 50s and 60s, and then they changed rocket fuel, and it shut down, and now it looks very apocalyptic. But it was owned by Aerojet Rocket Facility, which has ties with Jack Parsons, the father of rocketry. And people who know Jack Parsons dabbled in the occult with Aleister Crowley. So we went out there to investigate it. Actually, it's weird because I found out about the place watching a python hunting show. Like, we got a big python epidemic down in here in the Everglades.
Hmm.
So this is a hotbed for pythons, this location, and they were saying that it's haunted. So me, I got to go check it out. So we go there, and I think there's some people that know about the background of Jack Parsons, and, like, in a way, maybe trying to pay homage to him and Aleister Crowley. But there's one building that's dedicated to, like, satanic worship. There's all these weird symbols. There were upside down crosses. There was a blood stain in the middle of a pentagram, like they were doing bloodletting. I don't know if it was animal sacrifices.
Yeah, it was very weird. And then when you get out there, you get into this building, and
Speak
I
about
mean,
heaviness.
we were hearing disembodied voices like
And
all around.
it's the only location where we were getting things that correlated to the location. Like, for example, through the spirit box, getting EVPs through the recorders, the obulus, spitting out words, all related to Satan, devil, I hate God, things like that.
It was
And
really bad. And when we left, we had to cut it off. We had to say, like, we got to get out of here. We all felt it the same. Like, we were like, you know what, this is enough.
I lost a moment in time. I was like sitting there and like zoned out, and they were all calling for me, but I didn't hear them. And then like I was like, I came to, and like it's like nothing ever happened. It was just really weird.
Yeah, we have
And
an episode of it, and we even got an okay from the Python hunter to use his original footage from when he first went out there and found these places of worship or whatever you may call it. And
right when it got to the point where like we were like feeling like, we got to cut it out, then we got to leave, and that's what we did. We didn't want to push it,
Mhm.
and even didn't want to take a chance if it was anything that was evil or not.
Sure.
Do you think that even if there was like a place where these things have happened, do you think stuff would stay there? You know what I mean? Like if people were doing these types of things and
Well,
calling for this stuff.
yeah, they're conjuring and they're manifesting. You can manifest, like, for instance, the Conjuring House. Okay, um, there's a lot of lore that goes with it. I mean, there's some legitimate stuff that happened there, but then there's other stuff that really didn't happen, like the show said, like the movie said. But if people are going there and believing and all that energy, you can manifest something. Tick if you start
Right.
using divination and conjuring methods, and yeah, it can happen. The other thing that could be there too is like what happens in castles in England and Ireland and Scotland is you have residual energy. It's not intelligent. It's
Right.
just because of whatever was the
A
going
broken
on there.
record just
Yeah,
repeating
it's like a
itself.
film that goes on. It doesn't know you're there. It happens whether you're there or not, and it's that it could be something like that. But if people are doing, conjuring things or trying to manifest, yeah, the doors are going to open, and you don't know what's going to come through.
That's
Right.
true. Yeah. So we have that episode. It's out on ParaFlixx for anybody out there that wants to check it out. And I have like a 1:30 trailer I could play, and you can kind of see some of the stuff that we ran into out there.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to throw that up there real quick. Deep in the Florida Everglades sits a once secret NASA contracted rocket test facility. Built in 1963 for the sole purpose of testing different types of rocket fuels to launch astronauts to the moon. Now a hotspot for urban explorers and local python hunters, this facility is also still being used for satanic worship and occult practices.
We found actually like probably about a 50-foot pentagram, red spray painted pentagram.
Yeah, let's get this out of that room. There's so many upside down crosses and shit, dude.
In the middle of the pentagram was a 3-legged chair, and at the base of that chair was what looked like a pretty large blood stain.
What's the odds of this thing saying Satan, when we're here, specifically looking to see if there's anything dark here to confirm what the python hunters found?
Let me ask you this.
What was that?
What happened?
It was a moan, a loud moan.
I got it on here.
Whoa!
I heard that too.
Wow, that's amazing.
And you know what
Pretty-
the weird thing is like we haven't really investigated it, but there's another building where they were testing. There's like a bunch of them all over the place. It
It's
looks
like a whole
little town.
complex.
Mhm.
And one, so we have a lot of different cultures down here from the Caribbean, like
Oh, yes.
Santeria and
Santeria,
voodoo.
voodoo, yeah, yep.
And it was really odd. Like I walked into this one complex, and the Beanie Babies. There were these Beanie Babies of
Like Dora the Explorer,
But the weird thing about it is, I think there were like, I don't know, maybe like 6 of them, but they were like all strategically
like
placed.
up in the pipes,
spots.
like down, like they were just all over in different areas.
And why would someone like go 3 miles into the Everglades just to do that? Like, I just thought it was, I don't know.
And then the one other thing that was very, very odd was the Python Cowboy, they call him, Trapper Mike. He's a snake handler, like he'll grab whatever snake, you know what I mean? So when he was kind of pulling in, and this is in the video, there was like a pile of rocks with this upside down cross and some baby dolls' heads and some just weird stuff, and there was a snake wrapped around the baby doll's head, like a baby real snake, like live. And when he grabbed it and pulled it up, he said it was the only time he's ever seen a snake bleeding out of its anus. And it was just very odd. He's like, I've seen a lot of snakes in my day, and he's like, I've never seen this. And it was a small snake about like.
And they had Latin sayings sprayed on the road. Like, I don't know exactly what it said, but it was like pretty much like just turn around and leave or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just really odd. I've never seen anything like that.
Have you ever seen we've never seen an Ovilus say Satan, and then we got like the devil like 4 times on the.
No, I haven't, because I just acquired an Ovilus, thanks to Father Ken. But I guilted him, actually. But yeah, so I haven't been like I've seen it on shows like Project Fear.
I've never seen it. Like we use one a lot, and I've never seen it say that word ever.
A lot of times it's just random stuff, just like going out, like doesn't make any sense. But it was just weird that location it does that, and then the other devices were capturing similar stuff as well. It was just odd.
I got to call Dave Giuliano because he was saying
he
that
owes me. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah. If he wants to donate to a poor mendicant priest. But no, that there's something that's less expensive and it does even better. It's like the Ovilus, but I forgot what he said it was. But
he's the man to talk to about devices. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Paranormal Puck.
No, it's probably one of the
a knockoff.
It was another one that they built that was similar. Somebody else built it one, and Dave has it there.
Yeah, I got to talk to him.
I think it was called the Tempest.
It could be. Okay. I don't even remember at this point.
Yeah.
But well, I gotta get into compliance mode because we're all about compliance here, Father Bob. And I just have to let our listeners on the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network that in a few minutes they'll be moving on to the next show. But if you want to continue here, you can watch or listen to us on the Haunted Files YouTube or Facebook page. And for those of you that are watching on our Facebook and YouTube, check out KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We're not the only show there. It's 24 hours of paranormal, cryptids, spiritualism. Bishop Long, Father Bailey has he has a show on there, and I think you've been on that show. So
yes, I have.
Check them out.
Awesome.
I'm done now.
So yeah, there's the and it's just it's what I tell people sometimes, even though dark things I feel are pretty rare, demonic stuff is pretty rare, but it does exist. I feel it does exist because without no darkness there is no light, right? Without no light,
and I would say this though. I would say what you're saying maybe 25 years ago, 20 years ago. I wouldn't say that now. I think there's a rise, and I think there's a spiritual reason for it. I think we're in a very in what I call salvation history, where I'm not talking about the end of the world or anything like that, but I am talking about a decisive time of a battle between good and evil. We're in the middle of that right now.
You
And
can almost feel like some sort of something's off, right?
yes,
Like in the world today.
Even
yes,
the weather, like our hurricanes are even stronger.
right,
It's like more destructive now than it has been because of I guess the global climate heating
yep.
up, and then you got Ukraine and Russia, and
Oh,
you got the Middle East, and
Everything's a little bit of a mess right
the
now.
government cuts. Damn it! I mean,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that.
So you think that that's kind of portraying a little bit in what we see day to day is just like a
I
behind
do
the
think
scenes
that.
war
Yeah, I'm not.
of good
I'm
and
not.
evil?
I'm not saying it's necessarily all like demonic, like we know demonic with or the devil's with a pitchfork. But there still is a sense of you just get set. There's no peace. People don't have peace. So young people,
Yeah.
they don't have hope. Hope is diminishing, and we got to give them hope. That's why I felt doing the positive paranormal phenomena was giving them hope that this is that Annabelle and the Shadow Doll, and it's not just that. It doesn't end that. There is a victory. There is goodness that you can tap into.
Oh yeah.
You
What do
I
know,
you,
tell I tell people that, not everything in the paranormal is darkness. I mean,
right?
there's a lot of places in Florida that, I like there's a location in Miami that I feel spiritually connected, and I just think it's a beautiful place. And I
Hmm.
think sometimes souls go there because it is a beautiful location, if that is
Hmm.
possible.
Sure, sure.
what would you give, like, because we're kind of getting a little bit towards the end of the show here. What would you give our listeners, and we do have a lot of paranormal investigators that listen to us as well. What would you give some advice? And if you were to
Mhm.
talk directly to them, what would you say? Like, what were your
Well, what I would tell them is, first of all, thank you for the work you do. If you're helping people, that's great because sometimes they need someone just to believe them, and that's a wonderful thing. Uh, but I would say this: you have to know that there is good and evil. If you're going to get into the paranormal field, you had better be able to know that. And you have to have some kind of a spirituality. When you go into these locations, don't go into them just thinking that it might just be something benign, because evil spirits lie. So you need to pray before and after an investigation so that it doesn't follow you home.
I
You've
do
got
it
to
every
do,
time.
yeah, you've got to do that. And I know there are groups who don't do that. And also, if it gets really bad, and over your head. Do not be afraid to say this is over my pay grade, and stop and then look for help for someone who can do that. There's no disgrace in that.
No.
So need to know your limits, know your if you're not versed in the demonic, if you're not versed in spiritual warfare, find someone who is. Don't start doing stuff, and please don't conjure.
Mm-mm.
Please, because you open doors. Don't bring Ouija boards. Don't do saying. Don't do any of this stuff in there.
Michael.
Yeah, because it can. You think you're doing good, but when the doors open, anything can come through, and they could say it's Uncle Billy, but it's Beelzebul. You know.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Right.
So for most
And
people,
that
they
could
don't know
be
that.
and not only Ouija boards, that could be done with spirit boxes
Oh, it
and
could be.
and
Yes.
recorders.
Yes.
You just don't want to conjure up anything that's going
No.
to be evil
Well,
with
when we
intent.
go in, we do not conjure. Okay, what we invest.
Yep.
This is what I try to tell people that lump all this. Father Bob, you can't be doing this. This is against your religion. No, it's not. Conjuring is.
Yes.
But when I go into a place, I want to know what is there. I don't want something that's not there to come in. So I'm trying to figure out what is going on there. And so we use those devices and we try to use those safely. But you don't want to use something that can inadvertently conjure something and bring
Right.
something in. So
Right.
yes, so that's the thing. Realize you're going in there, trying to see if there may not be anything there. There may be a explanation as to what's going on.
Hmm.
So that's what investigators try to discern.
Right. Well,
Well,
Father Bob,
that's some amazing advice. And yeah, if
yeah,
you know what I mean, like everybody out there too, that's versed in this in spiritual warfare and different things, and they're all going to be willing to reach out and help. You know what I mean? If somebody, like you said, feels like they're over their head, there's something going on, they have some sort of a uh, a dark feeling or something that's happening to them after an investigation or whatever, and it's something that they can't handle. Reach out to somebody, and that's the right. And I'm not too prideful to ask help if I need help, right? I will reach out to somebody, and yeah, definitely just be
and
safe
just
out there.
like what Father Bob said earlier in the show, like he was in the middle of an exorcism and he had to walk out and he had to go to the bishop. I mean, everyone's going to need help, and it's
Hmm.
something you shouldn't tackle on your own if you don't know how to deal with it. Even for paranormal investigators, like we were just talking about Aerojet rocket facility. It was getting to the point where it's too much and we had to call it quits. We didn't want to push it.
And the other thing too, and I say this, qualitatively, that smudging, you know, uh, true Native Americans who were brought up with the smudging, they will tell you, okay, it creates, in their culture, their tradition, it creates some positive stuff. However, it was never meant to be used as spiritual warfare. So when you're going in dealing with a dark entity, that's not going to help. That can help at the end, create something, help to make positive or whatever. But they will tell you, and they've told me that it's not. You need holy incense.
Mhm.
Less incense. Frankincense and
Frankincense,
myrrh.
myrrh,
Yeah,
yeah,
to go in and that. And the reason why I say those two, because that will affect, even if you can't get a blessing from the priest on there, it's biblical. It reminds the other side of the gifts of the Magi.
yep.
So,
Frankincense, myrrh, crucifix,
oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
holy water.
Holy
These are,
water.
yep.
Yeah.
And you can get that through Dave Giuliano at his ghost hunter store.
Yeah, he has a lot of spiritual stuff as well, and
Yeah.
Catholic items,
Yes,
and
he does.
yes, because just Dave's a demonologist as well,
Yeah.
and he fights a good fight, so he carries a lot of the stuff that you might want to check out there as well.
Yep. And the other thing too, if you're at a house and and you're praying for a cleansing of the house, what Lorraine always taught was to take 4 blessed metals and
Mm,
bury them on the 4 corners of the property and ask the angels and ask the Lord to create a hedge around the house so that anything can't come in anymore, anything bad can't come in. And so the metals, again, that are blessed, and then I ask 4 angels to guard the 4 corners of the property. That's important.
Yep. We had someone on our team that did that at property cleansing.
Yeah.
Um, but what she used was she had pendants of Saint Michael that were
Yes.
blessed, and she put that around the perimeter, and
Yes.
it helped. It helped the lady, and
Yep.
she's been it was actually a horse ranch, and it was like Native American type
Hmm.
entity that was going on there,
Yep.
and it
so
helped.
yeah, very very interesting stuff, and yeah, it's been amazing talking with you.
Oh,
I
same here. I've really thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yeah, we'll
Awesome.
we'll have to
Thank
get
you
you
so much.
back again another time. It's been
Absolutely.
fantastic. I mean, I can keep going, but I'm sure it's getting late, and we so
Anyway, any more? Is it over now? The Devil on the Run tour?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And my
In
body, I don't
relief.
know how much more could it take of those drives, but yeah, it is. Because the intention of the new owners is to build, like a state of the art, a new museum, and that will be open to the public.
Oh,
Right
perfect.
now they can't because of the zoning at the house. This will be, something bigger.
Will there be
And so,
other tour going on for Annabelle in the future?
they're not saying.
Okay.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I don't think there'll be a tour, but I can't say no. For
Well,
Yeah.
sure.
I'm
I think
the rock.
everybody's just tired from the tour. It was a long tour.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
you
and
know
I
what?
I was there for a part of it, but not the whole thing.
I might
And
be giving you a little break because I've been working on trying to get Robert the doll up to Rock Island for the next episode. So I'm working on that with Candy.
uh
Another doll.
oh yeah, oh yeah. I don't know too
So
much about him, but I hear bits and pieces.
yeah, that's a whole nother episode on alone.
Yeah, oh yeah.
uh,
I know
but
you got
yeah,
to write him a letter or something like
yeah.
that.
So the just real
Yeah.
quick, the theory is like the thing is like you have to ask him his permission to take a photo, or
Yeah.
he'll curse you or whatever. But yeah, people have written him letters and said sorry and all this stuff. So, but yeah, that's a whole nother like I said, another episode just talking about that.
Mhm.
But
We'll
no, it
bring
was fantastic.
Father Bob on and do a Robert the doll versus Annabelle episode.
Oh gosh. It's bad enough they have Annabelle doll versus the Shadow doll because they say they vie for attention in the museum.
The shadow doll,
Oh
that
wow.
thing was really that was the first time obviously I've ever seen
Alex
it,
favorite
there,
thing.
and that was it I ain't gonna lie, it kind of grabbed my attention out of
Oh yeah,
everything there. I was like, I kind of was drawn over to look at it like this is interesting. Like, what is this? It definitely grabbed my attention.
that was more formidable than the Annabelle doll because it was meant to kill. The
Yeah.
sole intention of the creation of that, and the whole thing is you take a picture of it, you write this incantation or whatever it is, and you mail it. And when they read it with the picture there, it's supposedly you die. So the intention of that it was more gruesome. Although now, because we don't know the incantation or whatever it is, so right now it's not a threat. But there's still negativity around that. I mean, how can there not be? So, but
Yeah,
that's the only one.
yeah,
See, Annabelle, I don't know why the demon chose to attach to that. Nobody knows, I don't think.
Because it
But
looks innocent.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But this one was more formidable. It was created to kill, and that's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, it is.
So,
everybody asked me, like, how was it when like being in that room and seeing everything, and to be honest, it was just like, they did us a favor to kind of show us around in there. Like, I was like, I didn't want to like overstay my welcome, so we kind of came in, took a couple pictures, and then like boogied, like, because like I said, I didn't want to like over, because you guys were all in the middle of setting up and everything, so like I didn't really feel much because we were in and out. But it was definitely a little creepy, seeing all the stuff that was there. um
yeah, it has a creepy kind of vibe to it, but not everybody feels that way when you come through. There's some people
I
who
didn't
might be
feel that
more
way.
sensitive. Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel anything at all,
Yeah.
so not everybody that goes through feels that, but some people are more sensitive
That
to.
means you did your job, Father Bob.
Well, actually, it was funny because I'm giving a talk at my table about the thing, and then Ryan comes, excuse me, Father Bob. There's some people really feeling overcome. Can you go and sprinkle holy water around the place again? So I said, okay. So excuse me, I gotta get over. So I said, now there's lines all over. I mean, it's just continual line the whole time. I said, how are we going to do this? So Ryan's going, excuse me, Father Bob has to go do his thing here. And people were great, so I would just go through the line, and bless around with holy water. So
I think it's more psychological than anything else.
I don't know. For some people, definitely. Other people, they have they call it sixth sense or whatever. I mean, you know,
Well,
uh,
it is like being at a place that's known to be haunted.
yes, it is because the things that are in there were known to be haunted. So,
And
yeah.
I got something to tell you real quick before we end this, but You know, we did our presentation down in the Looney Lounge, and I don't know if you had a chance to check that place out. So we're playing our episode that we filmed last year at Rock Island, and so there were three ladies up front, and all of a sudden they get up in unison and walk out and pull me aside,
I
and
was
they're
like,
like,
man, is our show that bad?
I
Just walk
know.
out.
So the lady pulls me aside. She goes, I just got touched, so I'm leaving. And I'm like, oh, really? So they ended up leaving, and this other girl comes up. She wants to go in. I'm like, oh, there's some spots up front. So she goes up there, sits down. A few minutes later, she gets up, walks out, and she's like, someone just ran their finger down my back. And
Same
then,
chair.
yep, same area. And then later on, we're at our table, and a girl comes up, and she said that, hey, I was sitting down there. I was watching the episode, and someone grabbed my leg. And none of these people knew what happened. They all came up to us individually. So I thought that was really odd.
I will say, Rock Island was one of the more active places I've been to.
Yeah.
We did a little investigation. We went through the place after hours, and oh boy, that's where my whatever gift you want to call it. There were rooms that I went uh, tried to go in, and something was prohibiting me. I couldn't go in,
Hmm.
or I would go in there, and it would be so heavy because a
Yeah.
lot of heinous things happened,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
in that
Yeah.
place, and even down in the basement. My Chris Galoran from NESPR, they were going in back where some really bad stuff happened, but there were boards down there, and they said, Father Bob, please don't come through here. You're gonna fall. You're gonna get hurt. I said, that's fine. That's fine. And one of the guys who was a sensitive said that he heard, but he has to. He's supposed to. I said, oh yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No, 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 no. So yeah, it was very active, that Rock Island.
Yeah. That's an amazing location. So Father Bob, for our listeners or our people who are watching, where can they find you? Do you have any upcoming events? Anything going on where they can find out about?
Right now, no. Right now, it's not until right now. I mean, it could change, but right now, next summer, I'm going to New Orleans. But
Oh,
um,
nice.
I am going to, the Warrens' house for an overnight in December, right after Christmas, the new bed and breakfast. So I'm kind of excited about that. I mean, I've stayed in the house a number of times,
Are
Mhm.
they
but
letting people stay there as a bed and breakfast?
yes, yeah, oh yeah, it already
Oh,
started. Yeah,
Mike.
I'm gonna be up there actually in well, not up there, but I'm gonna be in New York and right after Christmas there. Right. Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. You got to call because the first 100 days went immediately.
Oh, I'm
Oh
sure.
wow, yeah.
Yeah, you probably got
Immediately.
to do it at the beginning of the year when they
Yeah,
Well,
now they're doing
okay.
the second 100 days, and I don't know how that's going because
our
but
friend Patty Negri from that
oh yeah,
is owner of ParaFlixx.
yep,
She's good friends with Matt Rife, so
oh yeah,
maybe we'll have
yes.
to talk with her.
Yeah, we
I'm I'm
filmed an
I'm dying
episode
to
with
meet
her.
him. I'm
He's
dying
a
to
funny
meet him.
guy. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I met, obviously, I got to spend time and hang out with Elton,
Hmm.
but yeah, Matt is like, I was listening to his comedy things before I even knew he was in the paranormal, and now I said, Elton, do me a favor, tell him that there's a Roman Catholic priest who is a fan of his who lives right in this, who lives not far from where you live in Rhode Island. So we're both from the same state. So yeah, yeah, I will. So we'll see.
Boy, would I
Cool,
love to
cool.
investigate with you, Father Bob.
Yeah, that
Sounds
would be
Uh,
amazing.
yeah, it's fun. But believe it or not, I enjoy investigating with other people. I just like to be a part of it, and but
well,
Yeah,
I'm
so
going to talk to Bill. We're going to work on a way bringing you down here to South Florida,
okay, okay,
perfect.
preferably
just
during the winter time when you're having your
yes,
blizzards and it's nice
yes,
and warm here in the 80s.
yep.
Yeah, we could have a mojito.
Yep.
Oh, that'll take.
There
Uh,
you go.
just keep me away from the pythons and the gators.
No problem. We'll do it.
And the water sharks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah. Although I used to do blessing of pets, and some people had some weird things. I had actually an albino python, so
Really?
I put it around my neck, and it was fine. That was whole, but then it started to go like this, and I went,
Oh yeah.
okay, that's
Yeah,
enough.
no. I don't like snakes.
Yeah, but
But,
they were
An evil
beautiful.
beast.
It was a
Eric.
beautiful, beautiful. The albino was like a yellow and white.
I
It
don't
was-
like snakes. I've been
Yeah,
in.
me
I
too.
don't
Big
either,
fan.
I don't either, which I'm surprised that I even put it around me. But hey,
Awesome. So what a great show. I had a blast. Eric, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Facebook under Eric Vanderlaan and Instagram, Ghost Hunters South Florida, TikTok, Ghost Hunters South Florida. And guess what, Mike? You can find me on the Haunted Files as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Where can they
Yeah.
find you?
Same. Check out thehauntedfiles.com, or if you want to follow any of my social media accounts, if you go to FLA paranormalresearcher.com, it links out to all my social media. You can check us out there. And don't forget to sign up for ParaFlixx and check us out there. Watch some of our full episodes of us investigating different places around the country.
and also I do have a website. It's called Holy Sword Apostolate, APOSTOLATE.com. And it has lots of teachings and things there about spiritual warfare and the spiritual battle.
Oh,
I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
check
Make
that
sure you
out.
check that out. Absolutely. You know what? Maybe I could put that in the description of this episode too, so people can
Perfect.
go
Yep.
check it out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All
So
right.
thanks again, Father, for joining us. It was amazing. Good seeing you and talking with you, Eric, as always. And we'll see everybody next Monday on the Haunted Files Unplugged. Bye.
Bye.